The longest recorded siege in history took place in North Africa between the late 17th and early 18th centuries. The Spanish-held city of Ceuta, located on the North African coast in what is now Spanish North Africa, was under siege for more than 30 years by the forces of Moroccan Sultan Ismail ibn Sharif. The rise of Sultan Ismail ibn Sharif. Sultan Ismail ibn Sharif was a highly successful ruler who transformed Morocco from a fragmented and relatively weak state into a formidable power capable of challenging both Spain and the Ottoman Empire in North Africa. In the years leading up to the siege, he had already taken several cities and fortresses from both the Spanish and the Turks, cementing his reputation as a strategic and determined leader. The siege begins. In late 1694, Sultan Ismail began his campaign against Ceuta, deploying troops to the surrounding areas to construct siege engines and establish logistical support. The Spanish, in response, called for reinforcements, leading to the arrival of Portuguese mercenaries. However, the locals resented their presence as Ceuta had been under Portuguese rule just a few decades earlier. Due to tensions within the city, the Spanish crown withdrew the Portuguese troops after pressure from Ceuta's governor. The first major attack came in July 1695, when Moroccan forces took advantage of a thick fog to launch a surprise assault on the Spanish defenders. During a changing of the guard, Moroccan troops breached the walls and fought their way to the town square. Despite this initial success, the Moroccan forces, exhausted after fierce street fighting, were ultimately repelled by a Spanish counterattack. A siege complicated by war. As the Siege of Ceuta continued, Spain found itself embroiled in the War of Spanish Succession, 1701 to 1714, against England and the Dutch Republic. In 1704, Spain suffered a devastating loss when an Anglo-Dutch fleet captured Gibraltar, the crucial gateway between the Mediterranean and the Atlantic. This loss cut off Ceuta's communication and supply lines with the rest of the Spanish Empire. The Anglo-Dutch fleet soon arrived at Ceuta and demanded its surrender. However, the Spanish defenders refused to yield, and with the threat of a Spanish counterattack on Gibraltar, the fleet withdrew, leaving the besieged city to continue its struggle alone. Stalemate and resurgence. For nearly 2 decades, from the early 1700s to 1720, the situation in Ceuta remained largely unchanged. The city, battered and forgotten, endured the constant presence of Moroccan forces. However, circumstances shifted when Spain lost its Italian possessions, making Ceuta's strategic importance more pronounced. In response, the Spanish crown sent a relief force under an experienced Belgian commander. This force managed to break the Moroccan siege, but after assessing the situation, the commander withdrew upon realizing that capturing the nearby Moroccan strongholds of Tetuan and Tangier was not feasible. Additionally, an outbreak of plague devastated both the city and the Spanish forces, further complicating efforts to hold the region. The final years. With the Spanish relief force gone, Moroccan troops swiftly resumed their attacks. Fighting continued sporadically until the death of Sultan Ismail ibn Sharif in March 1727. His passing triggered a brutal war of succession among his many sons, forcing the Moroccan army to withdraw. After more than 3 decades of conflict, the Siege of Ceuta finally came to an end. A legacy of endurance. From 1694 to 1727, Ceuta withstood what remains the longest continuous siege in recorded history. This extraordinary episode of resilience, warfare, and shifting alliances underscores the strategic importance of North Africa and the enduring struggles between European and North African powers.